Hey everyone, welcome back to Google Workspace Recap, where we review everything new to Workspace every week. My name is Jesse Nolan, my co-host is Steve Larson, we're here to help you keep up. Public service announcement, clean your desks. All of you. You might notice that my studio, my video, my audio look and sound a little bit different this week. This is because I dumped this can of seltzer all over my desk, not once, but twice before we recorded tonight. Twice in a row. And the second time was all over my rodecaster, which is the sound deck that runs my mic. So the mic that you can't actually see because I got a separate camera, it's somewhat out of frame, isn't actually the mic I'm using tonight. I'm using another mic that has a magnet that I just stuck on top. That's a wireless mic. So that being said, thankfully the camera wasn't affected because, well, it's on a tripod, and that would be really impressive if I managed to get my camera wet dumping seltzer all over my desk. However, I have the new M3 Pro MacBook Pro, and something somewhere along the line, it's not connecting properly, and it doesn't like my webcam with Riverside, with the Mac. I don't know what it is. Loving the M3 MacBook Pro. If you're curious about it, check out my video, which I will try to remember to link at the end of this video. I did a review on whether or not the M3 Pro is worth it, because lots and lots of people are talking about that. But anyway, Steve, how are you doing? I hope your knife is going night. Hope your night's going better than mine.
Keep the desk clean, or just try to avoid liquids near any of the electronics. That's a harder thing to do than
I'm thirsty.
Keep things. Yeah, I know. It's hard to do.
We do a lot of talking on this show. It makes one thirsty.
That's why there's no liquids allowed in the server room, you know?
Yeah, amen to that.
Should be not allowed at the Jesse's desk either.
Apparently, except that I would be very parched and I would never get any work done because I basically live on seltzer. I just, all day long, I just chain drink seltzer. It must be terrible for me or something like that.
It's got to be in a sippy cup only.
There we go. I'll take my
grab one of the kids.
Yeah,
grab one of the
cup.
kids.
Yeah.
That's the way you should do it.
Good Lord. Oh man.
Well, I mean, not going too bad over here. I did actually have my second kidney stone though on Friday, so that was fun.
TMI.
Yeah.
TMI.
So it's going a little bit better. Still a little side pain though.
I mean, I would use the applause button on my rodecaster deck, but I just murdered it with my seltzer. So apparently that's not an option here. So it was just a round of applause in the background here. I think is that the correct response for a kidney stone?
I don't know. I mean, it's from what I've heard is that mine is not as nearly as bad as other people's have been. So it's gone in a couple hours. So
Jesus,
most might have been gone in like a couple hours, and that's it. So
it's a minor fear of mine having those.
Yeah.
That's why I drink so much seltzer, you know?
Yeah, definitely got to change up the diet, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of updates, though, we do have a pretty good amount of them. We had 7 main releases during the week, a couple extras there at the end of the week recap. And another big thing that we had today, Monday, was the roadmap presentation for Q4. So for those of you that maybe missed that presentation, the roadmap documents are available in over in GCC, so we will link to that. And if you have access, you'll be able to access that spreadsheet, doc, and slide presentation. All 3 of those were released. So a lot of updates happening over there, you know, in the coming few months and quarters and in the next year. So I think some of the things we talked about at Next that were announced, especially with chat. Those are, some updates on timelines are being provided within that. So you get a better idea of when some of those releases that we saw at Next are coming on chat and a few other things, of course. So also saw an update on Drive for Desktop that started rolling out today. Another version released 84 for that one. And then a couple things in the news. So we'll run through the specifics of those headlines and then dive into the details. So first release that we had, silent release, was the timeline view in Google Sheets is now available on Android and iOS. Next one is that there's now added time zone support for existing smart chips in Google Docs. And then finally, on the silent releases, we have an improved toolbar in Docs, Sheets, Slides, apps on those Android devices, primarily the larger format Android devices. Published releases, the ones that we saw throughout the week, 7 of those, adding GIFs and stickers into Google Slides. You can also now make more informed decisions using Classroom Analytics. The Google Meet API is now available in developer preview. Next, we have the ability to streamline the user experience in Google Chat to help find what you need much faster. And I've been using the new threading experience and just really not enjoying it, as we all know. It's just, it's just the layout. It's just the way that it just changed. I mean, I think if the threading was all in that main pane and it was always expanded out all the time, like I could maybe live with that. But like the way that you have to click into the thread for it to pop out to the right and like have a full screen chat window, that's what I'm really not liking. I mean, I think if they redesigned the layout of it and made it look more like the previous threading, it'd be good. But yeah, it's not doing it for me, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, I'm just tempted to not use the threading, or like just not use chat anymore. Like I don't know, like it's just really annoying, really annoying. I don't know. I'll probably still use chat, but I just won't use the threading. I think that's the main thing. I'm going to just not use threading anymore. I was
going to say that's pretty intense.
Can't stand it. Yeah, I just can't stand it. I'd rather just have just like a random assortment of messages that just start popping up anywhere, because it's too annoying for me.
That bad, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really like to use threads over in Slack either, for that same reason. It's a very simple reason in Slack. I don't like it at all. Same thing. That's why I like chat so much better.
Interesting.
Yeah. I try to avoid threads over in Slack too. So
well, let's get through the releases and then we can circle back on that.
I know.
Focus, Steve. Focus.
Talk about chat, and I'll always talk about that.
Yeah.
So when there's an update for chat, I'll always remind people of my disdain for the new chat experience. Filter by people or groups in Google Drive. That's in your search results, ways to kind of filter those results. There's improvements for scheduling large-scale meetings on the web. And then finally, introducing a new homepage in the Google Drive app. And then in terms of other releases that we had for the week, as I said, Drive for Desktop version 84 is rolling out for Windows and Mac OS. In that, we saw there's some issues where the app crashed repeatedly at startup for a small number of users. Then also Drive is kind of handling DNG files. They're now being considered raw files when backing up to Google Photos. And then just of course, additional bug fixes and performance improvements there. And then in other news, we had the Q4 2023 roadmap being announced. So we'll link to that on GCC. And then a couple other articles here. Anthropic to use Google Chips in expanded partnership. And then, what does
figure that one out?
Anthropic to use Google Chips.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not chat, chips.
Interesting. I know. You're right. Right. No, I get it. Chips. But okay. I think. Do you have another link to that one? Because I can't read it.
You can't read that one?
I don't know if Bloomberg. I don't know if Bloomberg.
Neither do I. I thought that was a free link.
So
I'll find a free one for it.
Check. Yeah, check. By the time we get to it, you might find it. And then Google Domains raises the price for Workspace. Okay. Paying more for a Workspace email through Google Domains.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So that's what we have there in the updates. Let's jump into the details of that first one. First one there being that timeline view in Google Sheets, now available on Android and iOS. So this is kind of an extension of a previous announcement last year. Now we can view your timeline in Android and iOS. So that is the timeline view in Sheets. So if you are curious about what that kind of looks like, have a look at the help article. I'll give you a little info on that. That is rolling out to wrap release domains now, and then schedule release domains are starting on the 15th of November. And that's available to all Workspace and personal Google accounts. Next, nice little feature here. The time zone support is being added to existing smart chips in Google Docs. So lets you understand a little bit more specifically about what time that is referencing, if it, what time zone is going to be referred to. So at the end, you will see that 3-letter time zone designation. It would have been nice to maybe see the offset because, I think sometimes there's the acronyms. You don't necessarily always know where the hundreds of acronyms are and which time zone that is. So a little bit easier to maybe just understand the hour offset. But there's also context, I think, into the location too, and which time zone specifically it is, even when they are the same hours of offset, because sometimes those are a little different because they can behave differently. Different time zones that are the same offset, it sometimes change. I don't know, do you ever share with you that talk on how difficult time is and how hard it is to program it? I'll have to share this with you. So, yeah, I mean, certain days did not exist in certain countries. So in like American Samoa, December 31st in let's say, I forget what year it was, let's say 2020, didn't exist. It just didn't exist. December 31st, 2020 in American Samoa. They just skipped the day, So
interesting.
It just didn't exist. Yeah. So weird things like that have happened. And, you have, something like the Russian Olympics showing up to the Olympics, like a week late because they were on the Gregorian calendar instead of, the other calendar. So, weird things like that happen all the time. And that was actually, this happened twice to them, apparently. Yeah. Or, well, I think it happened once the Olympics and once during a war in a battle. They showed up like a week late. Because they got the wrong date with their allies wrong.
And I complain about daylight savings time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I mean, I think we should just change the clocks a half an hour.
Get rid of it.
And never
just
change
get rid
it
of
again.
it. Call it a day.
Well, right. But get rid of it by changing the clocks a half an hour, and then be like, all right, we've changed it half an hour, so we're right in the middle.
Whatever.
And we're appeasing.
I honestly don't care what the solution is. Just get rid of it. Pick one and stick with it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it drives me crazy.
Well, no, I don't. Not pick one. I think the answer is
pick a time, whatever the time is.
Never change it.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But make it so. Make it only just one time. No more switching back and forth. The reason for it is dumb. The reason for it is gone. I mean, it wasn't dumb at the time. It was a little bit dumb. It causes heart attacks, people. Like, this is a serious thing here. And states have voted to get rid of it. Other states have gotten rid of it. California did a switcheroo where we all thought we were voting for it, and instead we were voting to follow what the U.S. government does, which is jack squat.
Oh, jeez.
It was on the ballot to get rid of it,
Boy.
and we voted it out, and it wasn't actually on the ballot to get rid of it. It was just voting to follow the U.S. government if they should decide to go and make a claim or a decision of which way to go.
Oh my God. Really?
It's the biggest cop-out vote I've ever seen. Damn it, California.
All right. Well, time zone support here for smart ships and docks. You'll start to see that on wrap release domains starting now, and then scheduled release domains is planned. That rollout is planned for the 27th of November, and available to all Workspace customers and personal Google accounts. And then finally, in terms of the silent releases, we have some improved toolbars in Google Docs, Sheets, and Slide on those Android apps and devices like tablets and foldables. So in Docs, there's going to be a new mode switcher. It's going to allow you to switch between editing, suggesting, and viewing mode. So just like you have on your web view right now. And in Slides, you'll also have access to an ever-present toolbar while in editing mode. And then in Sheets, Cell will be selected by default upon opening the app. So those three new features for the toolbars across those apps is going to be rolling out right now on wrap release domains, and starting on the 28th of November for scheduled release domains across all Workspace and personal Google accounts. All right. Next, diving into the main updates, we have some additional GIFs. And stickers being available.
GIFs.
So I said GIFs. GIFs. I like the GIFs.
This is why we make such a good pair. We just fight over this forever.
Yeah. GIFs. I just like this. I just think of like the peanut butter.
That's why it's not that. That has a J, not a G. Damn it.
Yeah, but that's two F's and a Y, so it's
okay.
There's a lot of weird things with the American English language. So so you will have GIFs and stickers to empower and build those kind of visual dynamics, and on the right side of the Slide app, and making it a little bit easier to put those into your presentation. That will roll out. Yeah.
Go on. When you're done. When you're
You
done.
want to say something? Oh, okay. I'm just going into the rollout pace here. So that started at the 6th of November for rep release domains, 15-day gradual rollout, and then scheduled release domains starting the 28th of November, also on a 15-day gradual rollout. Yeah.
To poke more holes in your argument, fun fact, Jiffy is a Mandela effect. It was never, ever, ever actually called Jiffy Peanut Butter. It was just Jif. Just Jif.
Okay.
J-I-F, not G-I-F. Ergo, GIF.
All right. Okay. Oh, yeah, it is just, yeah, okay, Jeff. So, all right. Yeah.
Moving on.
Let's see where we at now. Next update, we did all the details on that one. That's rolling out to everyone on Workspace as personal accounts. Next, making more informed decisions using classroom analytics. So for education leaders and support staff, you'll have some direct visibility into student performance and engagement in the classroom. So this will include assignments that are being completed, how grades are trending, how classroom features are being adopted. So this will give you kind of a bird's eye view of insights with that ability to easily drill down further to identify which students, classes, and schools may need a little bit more support. So there's a nice little animation here in terms of what that functionality is. So have a closer look at that to get an idea of what is coming out with the classroom analytics. Some other things here that educators will also be able to see the same type of data for the classes they teach, giving you some centralized snapshot of how each student in their class is trending. It gives you an example here. So if you see a student that has low assignment completion in a certain month, you can drill down on the list of missing assignments and then follow up to see how best to support that student. For rollout pace on this one, this has started on the 7th of November for both rapid release and scheduled release domains on a up to 15-day rollout, gradual rollout for all of those features there. And this is going to require an Education Plus license to access that functionality there. All right. Next, the Google Meet API is now available in developer preview. So that's launching through that Google Workspace developer preview program. There's a link in the article on how to get access to that. And that will allow you to, of course, leverage the Meet API to start to do things like programmatically create and configure Meet calls, or retrieve information about past meetings, such as meeting times and attendees, access certain meeting artifacts, like transcripts and video recordings, and then also subscribe to real-time updates on meetings, such as when a participant joins or leaves. So that will, of course, give you, give partners or customers that ability to create and configure Meet conferences and allow end users to join a conference and post real-time updates from within their own applications, which is pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. So if you start to, so essentially if you're starting to want to use Meet within in some internal tools, you can start to program that within your applications.
I'm glad that they announced
something that I think this is something we've been harping at Google for decades. I mean, ever since Meet came out, we say decades, but it's like seems like that long. Ever since Meet came out and was trying to compete with Zoom, it's like where's the APIs and all that to kind of leverage it, elsewhere other than just within the calendar and
and I saw this drop the other day before I saw the announcement, and I wasn't sure if we were allowed to talk about it or not. And then I saw the update here, and I was like, oh, okay, good, we can talk about it now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, let's see what else we have here. That's all right. Let's see. Yeah, I think we kind of talked about all the functionality here. Some examples of partners that are using it: HubSpot, Outreach, SalesLoft, Salesforce, kind of integrating the Meet API there to pull some meeting recordings. And so if you're using those kind of CRM tools, those tools can directly integrate into Meet, and you can start to kind of schedule and get metrics and analytics on those meetings now. So that's kind of cool how that is now possible. This rollout pace really just now. It's available now in the developer preview program. and available to all Workspace customers.
I honestly can't wait until folks start
Right.
integrating this into products, because one of the things that, I mean, as I'm sure everyone listening to the show
Yeah.
knows, one of the things that we love about Google Meet is just how simple, straightforward, and easy to use it is, and the fact that it just works, browser or otherwise. You open your browser and you're in a meet, and I mean, you know, camera, microphone, you've got your choices, you've got a lot of features, but at the end of the day, it's got to be simple to use and it's got to work, and it does. And so having that be integrated into other tools is, I think, just going to be, a huge bonus for anyone who's using it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that, just going to go back to your, GIF and GIF comment. You do know that the creator of the format, Steve White, is it Steve White or Steve? I think something.
We could argue about his name
Steve
now.
White. His it's like Witty, like Steve. Was it Steve Witty? Willhite, Wilhite. Anyways, he had a presentation in 2013 at the Webby Awards, and he said it is pronounced GIF, J-I-F, not G-I-F.
Yeah. Well, he previously came out and said the
Just
opposite,
saying,
so he
was right.
Yes.
Did he?
I'll have
When
to
did he
find
say
the
it? I
article.
don't-
He had originally come out and
Yeah?
said that it was the opposite. So I think that he just decided that he was going to stand out more and make it more
Yeah.
GIF.
He just
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Here's a timeline of the debate.
Right,
There's
well-
a timeline. On time.com, there is a timeline
Is it
of
really?
the debate around how to pronounce GIF. In 1987, Steve Wilhite releases the Graphics Interchange Format, or GIF, while working for CompuServe. He called it a GIF with a soft G. Choosy developers, he reportedly said, choose GIF. This was, of course, a play on the peanut butter brand GIF's line, choosy mothers choose GIF. But it is GIF, as in graphics.
Yeah.
This has been an argument going on since 1987, folks.
Yep. All right. Next update, we have streamlining the user experience in Google Chat to help you find what you need much faster. So something that I think we've kind of talked about before, probably around next. There's a lot of stuff being announced then. This was, I'm pretty sure, one of them.
This was one of them.
Yeah, redesigned navigation panel. Yeah, I think this is it, right? That redesigned navigation panel. This is what we've seen and heard for quite a while. It is finally released. So that update, where on the left-hand side you see home, mentions, and starred. Over at the top with the shortcuts, and then you have the direct messages and you have spaces. So that redesign there is what is rolling out, and that is gonna hopefully help get around the chat a little bit better. Still doesn't do much for the layout of itself of the spaces, but that's another topic for another day. So that is going to start rolling out for rapid release domains on the 9th of November. Gradual rollout there, up to 15 days for visibility. And then for a rapid release for scheduled release domains on the 4th of December. So have to wait a little bit longer for a gradual rollout there. So there's some interesting additional details in this. Direct message and spaces sections will be listed separately, scrollable and collapsible in one unified list. List of messages where you have been mentioned are sorted by recency. Some other things here where each row represents a message within the thread that mentions you. If you're mentioned multiple times in a conversation, each mention will show up as one row. And then unread messages are highlighted in light blue and include a blue dot. So, yeah, some nice things there. And then also, finally, you're clicking on a message in the home or mentions view will bring you directly to the conversation or thread where you can respond.
Also nice.
So, yeah, definitely some nice enhancements.
Did you mention
there.
the new logo?
Yeah. Which is? I did not. No, I did not mention the new logo. But yeah, the new icon has a cohesive look with other popular Workspace products that reflects the central role of business messaging and collaboration.
In other words, they made it look more confusing.
So, there you go.
But it does match the brand language of everything else, and I like it, honestly. But I think I like it now at this point just to be contrary to what Steve is about to say.
No, I just wonder if my chat app icon down in my
It will.
Mac
It
tray
will.
here is going to
Nope.
change, or if it's
Why?
if
Did
it's
your other
never going
one
to update.
previously not update?
I don't know. I can't
I don't
remember
see
if it
why it
did or
wouldn't
not.
update. Maybe the next time the PWA gets updated or something, but well, I would
Yeah,
like to say that
maybe.
it is about damn time this interface rolled out, and true Google form as of the last, I don't know, few years, 6 months have gone by since this was announced. No? Yes? No? Maybe?
Yeah,
It's been a while.
it's been a
Can we
while.
stop with the announcing things and then no, it hasn't
Has
been
it been
six
six
months.
months?
Well, when was
Just
next?
like not
Next was
releasing
what?
them?
August, September. It was
I think
3 months.
3 months ago,
Some of these things are older, but still, like, can we
3.5.
stop
Yeah,
announcing
4.
things and then not seeing them for a very long time? Like, we saw the original design that spawned some of this over a year ago, and it's only just finally rolling out. And I
Yeah,
want Apple's got it right in my opinion in this regard, where it's announcement, the short delay, release. Here it is. Maybe not everything, but and I get that this is a little bit of a bigger update, but if you've got it designed enough and done enough to announce it, I feel like you should have it done enough to release it. Also, I have two gripes, not necessarily about
yeah,
this. Actually, one of them is about this. The other one is about, well, coincidentally, Gifs. But my first gripe is the resizable panels, which was announced, I think, last week, 2 weeks ago, some point here.
yeah,
The
yeah.
resizable panel. First of all, I agree with Steve on the drop out or pop out drawer. I do like the drawer effect, but on the PWA, I'm looking at it over on the side here on my screen. I had it one size, and when you open the drawer to get to a thread, now everything doesn't fit as well anymore, and I have to either close the calendar sidebar or I have to close the messaging, details sidebar on the left hand side, or I have to make the window bigger, and so now it's a little bit annoying, and we'll have to get used to it. But I do wish that it was designed a little bit better in that regard. The thing that I have as an issue with is that the icon, not the icon, but the bar for showing you where to click to grab to resize. I mean, you can click to grab. Oh no, you can't. You can only. Yes, you can. You can click to grab anywhere on the bar, but in the middle there's a gray bar. The thing is that since you have scrollable bars on the sides, like you do in a normal browser to show you where you're scrolling, I often get confused thinking that I have scrolled up in the chat and I'm not at the bottom, aka the most recent location in the chat to see the most recent messages, because
Yeah.
I see that and I think that I'm scrolled halfway up. And so then I start trying to scroll and it's not scrolling. Now, granted, the normal scroll bar that's there is thicker than this. And maybe there's a dark mode problem. I don't know. I should change it to light mode and see if it alleviates the issue. But if I have them side by side, they look very similar. And so I keep at a glance looking at it and thinking that I am scrolled in the wrong area of the chat. Have you had that, Steve?
I haven't had that happen to me just yet. I probably haven't been using it as enough, just since those updates have come. But I can see where that'd
The
be
other
pretty
issue
annoying.
that I have with that, as pertains to GIFs, and you talk about the GIFs now coming to slides as well, is the GIFs chooser is ridiculous in my opinion. It's
Yeah,
better than Slacks, which is like random GIF or
just
whatever,
not.
but in on the phone, in WhatsApp or whatever, you have a larger window. It's much easier to see the GIF that you're doing. If you're searching in the little tiny box and you try and type out what you're looking for and you're trying to see what the GIF is before you share it, some people have posted GIFs into these that are not A, safe for work, B, exactly what I'm going for, where the text that's on the GIF is different than the original movie or scene that they're taking it from, or meme that they're taking it from, or certain nasty people out there, as I'm sure you all have seen, have amended popular GIFs to then have something shocking at the end, which is meant to scare the crap out of people. And I don't want to be sharing that in a
Oh
work
yeah,
chat when
oh
I'm
yeah.
trying to send sympathy or congratulations or happy birthday, and then it's some bastard at the end doing God knows what to make people jump, and then I look like an idiot deleting it and re-finding a new one, and like, I wish that the chooser was larger and easier to see what I was selecting. Those are my two gripes.
Yeah, I don't see the new. I don't see the new.
No,
you seen
I have
the
not
new
seen the new
chooser
chooser yet. So that's what I'm saying is I hope
I
that
actually don't
it's
have
fixed.
it. Yeah, I don't have it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have it yet in mind. I just tried to check to see if
Was
it's
the new chooser coming to
it's
chat as
out
well, or was
in
that only
my
to what do you call it? To sheets and slides rather.
slides.
Well, hopefully it
Just
comes
slides.
here. But I do
Yeah,
know
just in
that
slides.
some friends of ours have the new interface that we're talking about here, which has shortcuts of home and mentions and so on. I do not have it yet in either or any of my domains that I've seen thus far, which is very sad because I'm very much waiting
Yeah.
for this.
You see, let's see, insert image. Yeah, no, I don't have it there either. None of the main ones that I have early access on things. So, yeah. All right, let's see what we look at. What we got left here?
Timeline.
We have, I think,
You
filtering by
didn't.
groups.
I cut you off before the rollout.
Oh, this is what, the new
Yeah.
chat interface? I think I've written. I think
Okay.
no, I went back on it. Remember? Yeah, I did the dates and then I went back on the details. So
It's available to
that's what
everyone, which is nice.
Yep. Yep. All right. So we got three more to go here. Filter people by groups or filter by people or groups in Google Drive. So this is when you are looking at some files there and trying to narrow down who has created those files and who's on those. So there's a new filter which lets you see which files or folders have been shared with specific people or groups. So it gives you some greater visibility into who has access to those files, whether they're within or outside of your organization. And you'll be able to kind of find shared files with the person or group in Drive by doing the normal navigation to Drive and clicking on those drop downs, which you'll see type, people, and modified. So you'll be able to click on that people filter and then type in some criteria there to narrow down those results. This is rolling out to rapid release domains starting on the 9th of November. Gradual rollout there, up to 15 days for visibility. And then a little bit later, on the 5th of December, for scheduled release domains, also on that same 15-day gradual rollout pace. Available to all Workspace customers and those with personal accounts. Next, some improvements for scheduling large-scale meetings on the web. So these are very large-scale meetings. So these are things like, once you hit the 100,000 guest per event limit. So they're making it easier to, making several changes there for those large-scale meetings. So that is the limit. So if your attendee list is over 100,000, it'll give you some notifications on, can to create a new event or to be able to invite some more people. But once you've created and saved that calendar event, which contains a large group of attendees, you can open that event to check and see the invitation progress. Those groups, once they're added, will appear in the guest list, and you'll see an invitation progress message as invitations are being sent. So I think maybe that's something that you probably didn't know before, is that for those large groups, those kind of don't automatically go out to everyone. They kind of gradually rolls out when you have a large number of attendees in those, or a large number of members in those groups. It takes a little while to get to everyone. And I guess it's giving you some more visual cues in that in that calendar event as to when those those invites have been delivered. So you'll see those updates when using the calendar app on the web, and you'll be able to see that when you're scheduling those larger events a little bit more easily on the web there. So there's some additional info here. So if there's problems inviting guests, you'll start to see an error message when you open the calendar event, as well as a notification via email. In both those cases, Google will kind of give you some more context regarding that error and how to fix it. And as I mentioned, earlier, is that, for example, if you exceed that 100K guest limit, they'll recommend that you add smaller groups or duplicate the event to accommodate more attendees. And this rollout for this update here is starting on the 10th of November for both rapid release and scheduled release domains on a very quick full rollout, 1 to 3 days for visibility. And that will be rolling out across all Workspace customers. Finally, final update of the week is that there's a new homepage in the Google Drive app. So some changes here to the Google Drive app on Android and iOS to help you more easily find the right file a little bit faster. So there's an updated suggested view, which will allow you to see more recommended files at once, such as those that have been recently opened, shared, or edited. And in addition to that, there's going to be a replacement of the notifications view with activity view, which recently launched on the web. So there you'll be able to see items that need your attention. So those will be things like pending access requests, recent comments, or files waiting approvals, all in one place there. So there's a nice little before and after side by side. It gives you an overview of what was before and what was after in the two versions. So definitely seeing a lot more in this new view in terms of the number of files there that are being suggested to you, and then some changes to the activity view. It's interesting though that the activity view is kind of like maybe the activity view a little bit more than in the before than the after. It's like I like the top one better in the after, but I like the before one in the activity view a little better actually. So yeah. But in terms of rollout pace for this one, Android devices are going to start to see this on the 6th of November. Both rep release domains and schedule release domains will see that on a potentially longer than 50-day extended rollout for visibility. iOS devices will start to see that a little bit later on the 10th of November, also on that same extended rollout, potentially longer than 15 days for both rep release and schedule release domains. And all Workspace customers and those with personal Google accounts will see this change. So that's all we have for updates this week. Just a couple of little articles in the news that Jesse will take us through here.
So first kicking this off is the roadmap for Google Workspace has launched. You can find this in the Google Cloud community and, of course, in the links in the show notes below and on our website. Actually, not on our website because I haven't updated that in a long time, so disregard that, but it will be in the show notes of the show on the podcast networks as always, as well as on the YouTube side. However, you do need to be granted access to this, so if you don't currently have that, then you'll have to apply to get that. I'm pretty sure that we can't actually talk about what's in here because you need to be NDA'd for it, so sort of, kind of, maybe a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I think other than some of the chat stuff that was announced, you could just say there's some new dates being given for it. But there's not much we can talk about. I think if we go through, we can probably see maybe things that happen announced.
We'll have to hit it with a comb, fine-tooth comb.
There's a lot. A lot of updates in that.
But this is Q4, so this is the end of the year, and usually it heats up for the next month or two, and then slows down. Well, actually, a month or two. We're towards the end of the year here already. But essentially, you'll just have to keep listening to our show if you want to know what's in there, if you don't have access to that list. Next up is the news about Anthropic, which is Google's favorite investment, similar to Microsoft investing in ChatGPT. Google, as you've heard before, has a similar agreement with Anthropic. And what's happening here is that Anthropic has announced that they will be one of the first companies to deploy Google's brand new TPU-5 chips, which is, I believe, what Google talked about at Google Next. TPU stands for, blanking on this one. Thank you, Tensor Processing Unit. Bloomberg recently reported, I generally do too, but it's that kind of night. Bloomberg has reported that Anthropic recently agreed to pay Google more than $3 billion over 4 years to use its cloud computing services. Of course, Google keeps investing money in them. So as we said in, last week, the week before's episode, money going back and forth both ways. And this is a similar deal, is that, ChatGPT has an agreement with Microsoft to run everything on Azure servers, similar to what's happening here. So just more interesting moves in the AI space as it continues to be developed, and good to see Google continuing to hopefully be at the forefront, because that means we get better products out of it at the end of the day. I was remarking before, though, I got an email from my kid's school that was very clearly, I believe, ChatGPT or Google Bard written, because it was embellishing and glowing and gushing, and I was just like, nobody talks like that. That's got to be AI written. When AI goes a little bit too hard, that's how you know that it was written by AI. So maybe we need some settings or controls in our our AI chatbots to say, dial down the intensity here so that it actually sounds like I wrote it. Analyze my writing and make it sound like me. We'll see. I'm sure that's coming. I'm sure somebody has had that idea.
Right. Yeah, when I said Google Chips, I'm thinking like Google Smart Chips. I'm like, how are those in Google? Like, that's why I confused me when I read them. Like Google Chips.
Nope,
like
TPU
Smart
chips.
I mean, they're pretty
Very
smart.
smart,
They're pretty smart, but yeah. Actually, that got announced November 8th. The new V5e TPUs.
Pretty sure they were
kind of timing it around that
sure they were talking about
that GA release.
Next,
well, it's yeah. I think this is the GA release is
got it.
a few days ago.
Yeah. All right, Google domains. Yeah, technically not a thing anymore, but still sort of a thing. Google sold them to Squarespace, if you all remember. I don't think this actual article is going to pertain to most of you, but FYI, if you're trying to buy Google Workspace through Google Domains, which is now Squarespace, the price now reflects Squarespace's reseller pricing instead of the slightly discounted cost that you were getting it when you were buying it through Google Workspace. Anybody who currently has Google Workspace through that plan, whereas they had bought it from Google Domains prior, the price stays the same. However, if you were to purchase it today, it already has increased. That being said, don't buy it that way. Just set it up properly, go direct, because you run into problems down the road as you start to scale, and it's a pain in the ass to get out of that deal. So it's doable, it's just really annoying. So word to the wise, if you have folks that are insisting on doing that or want to do it because it saves them money and they can't afford it, I understand. But if they have aspirations of growing past the one or two people in their company or organization at that time, I definitely recommend going through and paying the extra, $1 a month, whatever it is. So anyhow, that's all we got. I'm going to let my sound deck here dry out overnight, and hopefully we will return to normal setup next week, unless I download the audio from my DJI wireless mic and the video from my Sony camera here and realize that it's a much better experience, and maybe I'll just switch to doing this full time. Who the hell knows? Upgrade by destruction. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, that's all for this week. Send us your questions and comments on Twitter at Workspace Recap and on our website, workspacerecap.com. Hit the subscribe button wherever you are enjoying this show. Leave us a comment if you're over on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up, etc. Hit the subscribe button. I said that already. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week on Workspace Recap.